In the quaint village of Rusoma, nestled among the hills of Nagaland, there lived a beautiful and kind-hearted young woman named Sopfünuo. Her beauty was admired by many, but her grace and loyalty were what made her beloved by all who knew her. When she came of age, she was married to a man from a neighboring village. In their culture, this was common, as it helped foster relationships between villages. Sopfünuo, a dedicated wife, embraced her new life and her husband with deep affection. Every day, she made sure her husband was cared for in every possible way. She would dress him in the finest traditional garments, ensuring he was the best-dressed man in the village. Her unwavering devotion, however, attracted the envy of other women. These women, envious of the harmonious bond between the couple, began to sow seeds of discord. They whispered to her husband, filling his ears with doubts and lies, painting Sopfünuo as unworthy of his love. Over time, her husband, influenced by the poisonous words of these jealous women, began to withdraw from Sopfünuo. No longer was he the caring and loving man she had once known. Despite her attempts to rekindle their bond, the relationship deteriorated. Eventually, he coldly demanded that she leave. Heartbroken and rejected, Sopfünuo had no choice but to comply. On a cold, dark night, she gathered her belongings, picked up her young child, and began the long, treacherous journey back to her ancestral village of Rusoma. She carried a burning pine torch to light her way through the dense forests and rugged mountain paths. The path was filled with dangers, steep cliffs, wild animals, and evil spirits that were said to roam the wilderness at night. As Sopfünuo made her way through the thick undergrowth, she felt an ominous presence. The wind howled, and the trees seemed to whisper dark secrets. Suddenly, from the shadows of the forest, an evil spirit appeared. Its malevolent gaze locked onto Sopfünuo and her child. Before she could react, the spirit struck her down, impaling her with a sharp, pointed spike. The life drained from her body as she fell to the ground, still clutching her child. Her body lay there, lifeless and slowly decomposing in the wilderness. Her young child, now alone, crawled next to her, unaware of the danger that loomed. In a tragic twist of fate, the child was killed by the sharp rib bone from his mother's decaying body. His little heart stopped beating, and he died next to his beloved mother, his small body cradled by her remains. Days passed, and neither Sopfünuo nor her child returned to their village. Worried, her relatives set out to search for them, fearing the worst. They scoured the forest, calling out their names, hoping against hope that they would find them alive. After a long search, they finally came across the tragic scene. There on the forest floor, they saw something extraordinary. Two stones, one large and one small, both shaped like human figures. It was as if Sopfünuo and her child had been transformed into stone, their tragic deaths frozen in time. Understanding the significance of this transformation, the villagers tried to bring the stones back to Rusoma to give them a proper place in the village. However, as they attempted to move the larger stone, the one representing Sopfünuo, a fierce storm suddenly arose. The wind howled violently, pushing the villagers back and making it impossible to proceed. The storm seemed to communicate a message. The mother could not be separated from her child, even in death. Realizing this, the villagers decided to move both stones together, taking Sopfünuo and her child as one. As soon as they began moving the stones side by side, the storm ceased. The winds calmed, and the skies cleared, as if the spirits were finally at peace. Together, the stones were carried back to the village of Rusoma, where they were placed with reverence. The villagers believed that the spirits of Sopfünuo and her child had found peace in their homeland. Though her life ended in tragedy, Sopfünuo's story became a cherished legend in Rusoma. For generations, villagers would tell her tale, passing it down from parent to child. The stones, still present in the village, served as a physical reminder of her unwavering devotion and the tragic end she met on her journey home. In their eyes, she was more than a symbol of tragedy. She was a figure of strength, loyalty, and love, qualities that the people of Rusoma continued to admire and uphold.